I'm Quita Culpepper with the headlines happening in Austin. Concerns are growing in Hutto over discolored water that neighbors say has persisted for days. According to city officials, a new pump station that came online Friday stirred up natural iron in the pipes. And while they say the water is still safe to drink, some residents are skeptical. Reporter Brianna Perez has more.
Today we're seeing a lot clearer, but yet it still has yellow. And you can also feel the rust as well as it smells like rotten eggs.
Nicole Ramirez has lived in Hutto for 3 years and her water quality has varied, but a recent issue has her frustrated.
Sunday I came home from camping and I wanted to take a clean bath and it was brown. Even before I got in there, and I could not take a clean shower.
According to the city, a new pump station is pushing a stronger flow of water through the system, stirring up natural iron in the pipes. That's what's causing the tint, and officials say it's safe to drink.
Residents say the discolored water has been a problem for days. Although city officials insist it is safe to drink, many residents disagree, saying the discoloration shows up everywhere, from their showers to their laundry.
It looks to me like there's rust in the water still. I don't feel comfortable drinking it at all.
Ramirez and other neighbors say the city's slow response only fueled their frustration. Abby Fenton with the city says they didn't expect a significant impact for customers.
Once we realized that it was more widespread and affecting a large number of customers, that's when we put out public communication. We recognized that residents expect better and expect us to be more proactive with our communication in those scenarios, and we're committed to doing that better in the future.
As the city continues to flush the system, council members have approved funding for citywide water testing.
Residents deserve and expect water that's not only safe to drink, but that is clear, odor-free, sediment-free, and we're committed to providing that.
Officials say public works crews are now working on specific resident reports. So if residents are still having problems, they ask to file a report. In Hutto, Brianna Perez, KVUE News.
If Austin lost power during a heat wave, how many homes would remain livable and who would be most at risk? Those are the questions UT Austin researchers set out to answer. It's a first of its kind study that assesses the indoor heat vulnerability for each single family home in the entire city. Reporter Daniel Perot has more.
If the power goes out during a heat wave, new research from UT Austin says 85% of Austin homes could present a significant risk of death for an elderly person inside. For younger Austinites, that risk drops to 15%.
We want people to be aware that heat is a silent killer.
To determine the survivability for different groups, researchers simulated the conditions of a 3-day heat wave with temperatures above 110 degrees and a power outage. UT Jackson School of Geosciences professor Dave Niogi says the most vulnerable neighborhoods were Runberg and St. John's.
We start looking for areas where we have an older habitat and where we have less tree cover as the areas to be considered as vulnerable.
The heat risk for specific buildings can vary based on attributes like age, materials, and construction.
The more sidewalks, the more parking lots, the more rows you have, the hotter it is.
Mark Couder with Austin Climate Action and Resilience says the data will allow the city to take a methodical approach to mitigating risk and ensure resources reach those that need them most.
But we want to make sure that we're really focused on the areas that have high heat in ambient, sort of in the area.
For example, he says they could add cooling centers, create home weatherization programs, or look at planting more trees in the areas most at risk.
We want to make sure as the world gets hotter and as Austin gets hotter, we provide resources to people to ensure that they're safe.
In the future, every single family home in the city could face some level of heat risk. The UT City Collab predicts heat waves could double by the year 2100.
This requires a sustained way that we are developing a resiliency by increasing our tree cover, by developing an infrastructure that is adaptive to these extremes that is in place.
City leaders say the new data is a starting point. By better understanding the impact of heat, they hope to be better prepared to keep Austin cool in the future.
That was Daniel Perot reporting. UT researchers hope the study and solutions that come from it can be adapted to other places. An eco-friendly update is on the way for Austin energy customers who opt to get their power from renewable energy. Customers who subscribe to the Green Choice program get their power from 100% Texas-based renewable energy sources. And since 2001, Austin Energy has offered wind-powered energy through that program. And now they're adding solar power from across Texas. It costs about 3/4 penny per kilowatt hour of energy used. And that works out to an extra $7.50 per month for the average customer. More than 20,000 customers subscribed to Green Choice in 2024. This is Black History Month, and one Austin company is working to keep the history of the city's African American community alive, even as more and more longtime residents move out of the city. Reporter Adam Bennett introduces us to Black Austin Tours.
How's everyone doing today? Great.
On Tuesday morning, this Rhodes Scholar tour group.
Is anybody from Texas, perhaps? No one's from Texas? Oh, that's fun.
Journeyed down East 11th Street to churches.
And has stood in East Austin from the beginning.
Homes, murals, and businesses.
So this was just one example of the juke joints that line this street.
To learn the history of and meet the people in.
Shout out to him. He's awesome. Love to see him.
The historic heart of Austin's Black community.
When you look around, do you get that impression?
And engage in dialogue about the changes here.
Some things change, others remain the same.
Julia Norwood led Tuesday's tour with Black Austin Tours.
We go to the Austin History Center, the Harry Ransom Center, all the different museums around, and gather as much information as we can. Lots of reading and research that either Javier does or we do.
Javier is Javier Wallace, founder and CEO of Black Austin Tours.
I want to make sure that our contributions, our histories and experiences will never be forgotten.
I spoke with Wallace from North Carolina, where he also teaches at Duke University. He's a native Austinite and history buff whose family history here goes back roughly 200 years. He started Black Austin Tours in 2019. The next year, social outrage after George Floyd's murder and virtual tours during the pandemic drew a larger, more diverse crowd.
I was like, no, this is something. And so then I had to invest in that something. And so then I started to read about business, how to run a business. I got into some coaching programs.
Wallace used that knowledge to grow his staff and their tours.
Besides East Austin, their most popular, they also guide visitors through Black history downtown, along local waterways, and much more.
That's my favorite part of the tours is, you never know what more you'll learn. You never know what questions you're going to get that it's going to incite you to go and do more research.
More opportunities to reveal more of Austin's Black history as they spend this February celebrating other Austinites
that people have been doing this work for decades,
who've walked this path before, and those still taking steps year-round to preserve this history. Adam Bennett, KVUE News.
And those are the headlines happening in Austin. I'm Quita Culpepper.